Hi, okay, welcome to our Apple Snowflake video, and this is part of Pack 62 Apple Art Adventure Packet presented by planforadventures.com. And our Apple Art Adventure Packet, if you haven't been following along, is activity packet where we're working on beginning whittling skills by using apples to whittle. And we like using apples for beginning whittling skills because apples have a nice hard outside core to them, and it's a really great way to practice your beginning whittling skills by working on a material that after you're done you can eat or you can put outside to feed the animals, and you can make some really great artwork with whittling into apples. So this is part of our Apple Art activity packet from Pack 62 presented by Plan for Adventures, and for this video we will be making a very quick and very easy apple snowflake design. And to do that, let's take a look at some of the materials that we have with us. Always have our first aid kit with us. This is just my generic store-bought first aid kit that you can get very inexpensively at a local store. I have a cloth here to clean off my knife. A clean knife is obviously the type of knife that you always want to be using. I have my buck knife, which is what I use for these videos, and I'm using these for these videos because this is what I carry when I go hiking and when I go out camping and adventuring. There's other types of knives that probably would work better, but I'm using this because I want to work on my skills for the tools that I have with me when I'm out of the house. And I, of course, have my knife sharpener. A sharp knife is a safe knife, so always make sure that your knife is in good working order. And, of course, for any whittling project that we do, safety is always number one. So we want to talk about safety as we're going through working on our skills also. So along with that, as we get into our whittling project, we always want to remember, as you're moving your knife, you always want to be moving your knife away from your body. This is a requirement if you're doing this as part of a BSA program. And if you're not in a BSA program, there are some techniques where you can possibly move your knife towards yourself. If you're using safety equipment, you can do that if you're not part of a BSA program. But for this video, we'll try demonstrating the skills where the knife edge is moving away from us, and that's a really safe way to carve. Sometimes it does limit some of the knife movements that you can do and some of the cutting skills that you can do. But it's a very safe way to go, so that's what we'll try doing for this video. So let's go ahead and get started. So of course you want to do your knife inspection first. Make sure that your knife is in good working order and sharp. I like using a locking blade knife when I'm out on the adventure trail, and so that's what I'm using for this video. I did sharpen my knife ahead of time, but just to demonstrate sharpening the knife for this video, I have this type of a sharpener, and just go ahead and run this blade through here a couple times to make sure that I have a nice, clean, and sharp knife. I like to sharpen my knife both before and after my projects, so keeping a nice, sharp blade is always key to a good project. Okay, that's going to be good enough. I did sharpen this ahead of time, so we should be okay. And so what we're doing for this video is we'll make an apple snowflake. This is going to be a really quick and very basic design that we're going to do on here. We'll be using a couple very basic techniques, and the first technique that we're going to do is scoring. So we've seen this on a couple different videos. Scoring is where you're basically going to take the edge of your knife and you're going to basically draw your design into whatever it is that you're carving into. And this works if you're also carving on wood, but for an apple it's really easy to work on your scoring technique. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a snowflake, and I'm going to do about maybe a 4 or 5 point snowflake on here. And what we'll do is we'll put different snowflakes just going all over the apple, all the way around the entire apple. For this video, to keep it a shorter video, I'm only going to do a couple of them on the face of the apple so that you can see what the idea is. But eventually, if you do this full project, you'll want to go around the entire apple. So let's go ahead and score in an oval at the top of here. And again, we're going to work at really just trying to move the knife away from our body. Safety is always number one. So I'm just going to put the very edge of my knife in, and I'm going to make an oval right on the top here. And you can see while I'm doing that, I can move the apple along with moving the knife too. So just so that you get a good idea of what that's going to look like, I'm going to go ahead and do my first cut on here. So I have my score line right here. And the score line is great because what that does is that basically guides your knife exactly where to start and where to stop as you're working on your project. So now I want to do my first cut or my first shave. Remember, whittling is all about doing fine shaving a little bit at a time. You don't want to take huge gouges out of your project. So let's go ahead and we're just going to take the top layer skin right off of the apple. And notice I'm using my thumb to just kind of pivot that knife right along the edge here. And as you can see, that first cut followed exactly the score line that I put into the apple. And that's the point. You really want to be able to follow that score line through. So let's go ahead and make a couple more snowflake parts here. And again, scoring, I'm going to go ahead and cut away from my body here. You can use your thumb to anchor the back part of your knife in. Here's another one. There we go. And we'll get one more right down here. All right. And so we have a nice little snowflake here. And this is basically the exact same design that we will be doing going all the way around the entire apple. So you can make really kind of any kind of snowflake design that you'd like to make along with that. Just make sure that you're going all the way around the entire apple so that you have a really nice design. And you can do all kinds of other designs that go along with that. The great thing with this project is it's working on some basic knife skills, and along with that, you can set this out at the table if you're having a nice meal. You can also put a string through it, and you can hang this in a tree, and you'll be decorating your backyard or your front yard, and at the same time also feeding animals during the winter season if you're doing this in the winter time. And the nice thing is if you do this in the winter time with the snow falling, you'll have a bright red apple outside, and decorating your tree looks really nice in the winter time. So that's the basic idea. You can do this design all the way around, other designs along with that, and you'll have a 360 degree apple or snowflake ornament that you can then hang, or you can just enjoy as an apple. Okay, hope you enjoyed this video. Again, this is part of the Apple Art activity packet from Pack 62 presented by Plan for Adventures, and we'll have videos like this available for every month of the year. So if you like working on your whittling skills, make sure you take a look at that activity packet.